Matt, tell us, how long have you been having lessons with LVBA?
I have been studying with LVBA for a year now.
I have been with LVBA for a little bit over a year now.
Nearly 2 years now, because I started doing the musical theatre class where it was a group of us, and then I started doing private lessons after that.
I've been taking lessons with LVBA for just over a year now.
I've been with LVBA for 9 months now. Almost 2 years now.
Mm-hmm. I've had lessons with LVBA for about a year.
My range has definitely increased, as well as control over my voice, which is really, really cool.
So I started off, I remember I was so nervous all the time. I'd never really taken private singing lessons before, so it was a huge step for me. And in that time, I've just become so much more confident in my technique and just myself as well.
A lot of improvement in register, a lot of improvement in confidence. Just getting out there and actually acknowledging that I can do more than what I thought I was pigeonholed into.
I was definitely someone who started out thinking I knew everything, and I walked in super nervous to prove that I knew everything, and I knew nothing. So I've come a long way.
It's really crazy when looking back to sort of what we've done, you know, going from the basics to intermediate to advanced and looking at all the different things that we do in each of those levels. And I just, looking back at even the beginning process, the fact that I'm still able to use some of those techniques in what I'm doing now is so great.
I started with LVBA's Master Musical Theatre class and basically learnt a lot of foundation skills that really helped get me ready to work privately with Loic, one of the singing coaches, and basically work towards my uni preparation.
Definitely with the range increase, I was like, oh, this doesn't actually sound awful anymore.
Yeah, I think so often, like every single week I get in and I try and do something that I'd never have tried before, and it comes out like good. And it's a bit of a shock sometimes because I just never thought that was something I'd be capable of.
The big thing that sort of jumped out was that over time you just don't realise how much you've changed vocally. Like you look at stuff from a few years ago and it's completely different.
And I had recordings since before I started with LVBA, and looking at them now, I'm wondering how I thought I was any decent back then. Yeah.
Even down to just your confidence on stage, you're actually using proper movement and stuff like that.
I definitely had it in my mind that I was, you know, a bad singer and never would be able to sing. My technique has improved, my pitch, you know, my range, all of that.
I realized that I've been using my voice wrong the whole time. I realized that there's so much more technique behind everything that I didn't know about.
And also just seeing that after a long time, you're able to sing songs you never thought you'd be able to do previously in a multitude of different ways.
I'm pretty fortunate that I've always had like a fairly good range, but since working with Loic, like it's really cool. Like it's just expanded so much and it's been really great.
One time during our lessons, he told me just let it down. You can do that. You can hit that note. And I took a deep breath and I absolutely let the fear wall crumble, and I hit this note, you know, on this belt that I never thought that I'd ever be able to in my life, you know, and I felt so proud of myself.
I'd say definitely learning a lot more about connection to the song and acting behind the song rather than just singing, and finding the intention behind everything was probably such a breakthrough moment for me.
That moment when I realized that if I let go of that, that I could do so much more than I thought I could.
I think I just surprised myself at how quickly I could pick everything up as well with the help of Loic.
You don't need to put up like a facade to make people think that you're going to be good. There's really no point to it because your skill will speak for itself.
I think I've learned that I'm more resilient than I thought I was. I've definitely gets challenged a lot at LVBA, and then every time I push through that, it makes me feel like it's a real sense of achievement, which is awesome. Yeah.
I'm definitely braver than I thought I was.
It's good to have a different sound, that it's good to be a bit different, and that in some ways it's good to add your own sort of colour to things.
I've probably discovered about myself just with the amount of dedication to lessons, just how much you can progress.
This is difficult to say. I'm a better singer than I thought I was.
I've really learned that it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to be messy and let myself sort of be free and loose and wiggly and challenge myself in different ways and not hide behind constantly having to hit every note and be perfect.
I've learned that I'm resilient and that I have the ability to learn these things and to take them on board and to go further with it and to push harder.
Very industry based and focused on a pre-professional approach to the industry and working on professional techniques rather than simply just stuff that you would learn in community-based theatre. So it's sort of that like next level.
It's the best method that I've come across. I've had previous singing coaches in the past, and while they have, taught me a fair bit, they've only really taught the very bare minimum in comparison to what I've learned with Loic.
It's so good because you start doing quite simple things and you don't realize necessarily how big of an impact they're actually having on your technique. So you start with like sight reading really basic music, and then a few months later you're sight reading this really, really complicated music and being able to change and add harmonies so quickly. And it's all those little things at the beginning that gave you the tools to be able to do this more challenging stuff later on.
I was a beginner when I started, and our first lesson, I was obviously petrified and we didn't sing at all. It was an anatomy lesson. So, he taught me all about, where the voice comes from and what muscles we use. And that's very, very effective because later on when you're like, why can't I hit this note? Or why can't I, make this happen? You think, well, what should I be engaging right now?
It starts out pretty basic, but within a couple lessons, you're moving on to some pretty advanced work.
LVBA has a very specific method. It's unlike anything that I've ever seen before, but it definitely gets down to the nitty gritty. It starts with the basics, which is really great, and you start to go up the different levels and really challenge yourself. If you put in the work, then those higher levels are super fun.
He gives you all of the groundwork that you need to then achieve the more complicated things. So I think it's a, really excellent syllabus.
Don't start with one foot out the door. It requires commitment and passion in order to really progress yourself.
You're either going to give it 110% or don't do it.
Come in 100% committed. Don't do anything, excuse the language, but half-assed, essentially.
Come in ready to be adaptable and willing to learn, and just don't ever hold back.
To come in with an open mind is the best thing.
If someone's giving you criticism, they're not doing it to criticize you as a person. They are trying to help you. They're trying to help improve your technique. It's not about you. As in, that probably sounds weird, but it's not about you. It's you're performing something, like you're doing a song, you're doing it for the audience, you're bringing something to life. So you need to have that sort of understanding.
It's not about you. It's about the character. It's about the audience. It's about the experience that you can give to the audience.
Yeah. Just give it a trial. It's not going to hurt. Give it a go. It's the hardest step is always rocking up.
So if you are wanting to take that next step for yourself or for your career, then it's definitely like a great place to do that.
Know that they have your best intentions at heart. So they want to see you succeed, because if you succeed, you're going to feel great about yourself, and that's the ultimate goal.
If you're really willing to take the next step, I'd recommend it.
Just go for it. It's just such a great experience, and you learn so much so quickly.
They're there to help you become the best you can.
I would say absolutely go for it. You will improve and you will sound incredible.
Be prepared to work hard and be prepared to see results.
So much, yeah.
100%, yeah, absolutely.
I no longer hide under tables when I'm being asked to sing, so I'm going to say yeah.
Absolutely.
Exponentially.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I used to be very afraid of putting myself out there. But now I've got a lot more confidence when I'm actually singing in front of new people, which is cool.
It's really changed me.
The big thing is one big thing with confidence is that, not hiding away from it as much. I'm more willing to go for bigger roles. And just the fact that just acknowledging, I can do stuff that may seem a bit bizarre or kind of not common, but I got to own that. So
before I started, I'd never taken singing lessons before, and I had a crippling fear of singing in front of people. I couldn't even do a siren. I would start to sweat, my throat would close up. There was just no way it was happening. And it's been a long, hard journey, but with Loic, I've been able to not only successfully sing in front of him, but I've actually done auditions, which is just insane for me. So
I've got a lot more confidence now. Before, I was always really quite scared to go to auditions. Like I would say, oh, I want to audition. I want to do musical theatre and everything. But then when it came to it, I would be like, I don't know what to do when it comes to it in the end. And so since actually having lessons with the LVBA, it's been just in general, like just performing vulnerably, like to people. I think it's just my self-confidence has grown in that aspect for sure.
I'm off on the first leg of a tour in a professional show next year, which is really, really cool. It's my first professional show, and I definitely wouldn't have been up to the standard of it if I hadn't been under such intense training for the past year.
Gone for a lot more, quite a few more auditions in different theatre groups, and I've started full-time study as well with that, which required an audition part, and I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't have the confidence to do it in the first place.
Well, I've done auditions, and that for me is something massive. And maybe 2 years ago, that would have been absolutely unfathomable for me. I've walked into an audition room and I have sung, and that is before Loic, I could never ever have done that, and that's entirely thanks to him.
I have, but I can't talk about it.
Confidential.
It's confidential.
I did Rock of Ages with Mad About Theatre, and so I worked on my audition with that with Loic, and then I also did a community theatre production of We Will Rock You, and worked on my audition with that with Loic as well.
Definitely. I mean, I was really grateful to be part of Spamalot, and I was very happy to be a part of that, and it had been a while since I'd done a show, so it was really great to be part of that. And then Mary Poppins as well, so yeah. And I probably wouldn't have pushed myself to do those things had it not been for LVBA.